You open your fridge. You grab a yogurt cup. It looks fine. It smells fine. Then you see the date. Expired. Yesterday. And suddenly, your brain panics. You hesitate. Do you throw it away, or do you take the risk? Because if something goes wrong, you'll blame yourself. But if you throw it away, you're wasting food that might be perfectly fine. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That date on your food, most of the time, it does not mean the food is unsafe. Yet every year, billions of dollars of edible food end up in the trash because of it. So why do those dates exist? Who decided them? And why do we trust them more than our own senses? Today, we're uncovering what expiration dates really mean, where they came from, and why they quietly control what we eat, even when the food itself hasn't gone bad. For most of human history, food didn't come with dates. No labels, no warnings, no printed numbers telling you what was safe. People relied on something else, their senses. If milk smelled sour, you didn't drink it. If bread grew mold, you cut it off or threw it away. If meat looked wrong, you knew it. Simple, practical, and surprisingly effective. For thousands of years, this system worked. So here's the question. If humans survived that long without expiration dates, why did we suddenly need them? The answer has nothing to do with food going bad faster. It has everything to do with factories, supermarkets, and lawsuits. Everything changed in the early 20th century. Food stopped being local. Milk traveled across cities. Meat crossed state lines. Canned and packaged foods filled supermarket shelves. Suddenly, food wasn't made by someone you knew. It was made by a factory for millions of strangers. And that created a problem. If someone got sick, who was responsible? The farmer? The store? The company? Manufacturers needed a way to protect consumers and protect themselves. So they introduced dates. But here's the part most people miss. Those dates were not created as safety warnings. They were created as quality guarantees, a promise that the food would still taste, smell, and look the way the company intended. And this is where the confusion begins, because not all dates mean the same thing. In fact, there are 3 completely different types of food dates, and most people mix them up. Here's where most confusion starts. When people say this food is expired, they're usually mixing up 3 very different dates. First, best before. This one is about quality, not safety. After this date, food might slowly lose flavor, texture, or freshness, but if it's been stored properly, it's usually still safe to eat. Think cereal, chocolate, pasta. Second, use by. This one does matter. It's about safety, especially for foods that spoil quickly. Fresh meat, fresh fish, dairy. After this date, the risk of harmful bacteria increases. This is the label you shouldn't ignore. Third, sell by. This one isn't even for you. It's for stores. It tells retailers how long to display a product, not when it suddenly becomes dangerous. Yet many people see this date and throw the food away anyway. But here's something even more surprising. In most countries, the government doesn't set these dates. The companies do. In most countries, expiration dates are not set by the government. They're set by the manufacturers. Companies test their food under controlled conditions, temperature, packaging, storage. Then they choose a date that guarantees the product still meets their quality standards, not the last safe day, the safe-looking day. And here's the key detail. To avoid complaints, refunds, or lawsuits, companies often choose conservative dates. That means the food usually lasts longer than the label suggests. This is especially true for canned food, dry foods, frozen products. That's why canned goods can stay safe for years beyond their printed date. So, does this mean you should just ignore expiration dates? Not exactly, because some foods actually are dangerous after a certain point. Expiration dates matter most for foods that can grow dangerous bacteria without obvious signs. Fresh meat, fresh seafood, unpasteurized dairy. These foods can look fine, smell fine, and still be risky. That's why use-by dates exist. But for many other foods, Time affects quality, not safety. Rice, pasta, chocolate, honey, canned goods. With these, your senses still matter. If it smells normal, looks normal, and was stored properly, the date is a guide, not a switch that turns food poisonous overnight. So if dates aren't absolute rules, what should you actually trust? For most of human history, people trusted their senses, and they still work. Smell is often your first warning sign. A sour or rotten odor usually means bacteria are active. Texture matters too. Slimy meat or unexpected fuzz is a clear signal to stop. Appearance is another clue. Discoloration, swelling, or leaking packaging are signs something isn't right. Expiration dates didn't replace common sense. They were meant to support it. Understanding this doesn't just help your health. It saves money, reduces food waste, and helps you make calmer, smarter decisions. Expiration dates were created to guide quality and reduce risk, not to override your judgment, not to make food magically unsafe overnight. Understanding what those dates really mean gives you control back. The next time you hesitate before throwing food away, pause, look, smell, think. Because sometimes the most ordinary labels hide the most misunderstood truths. If this surprised you, share it with someone who always throws food away just in case. And subscribe to Simple Things Big History for more hidden stories behind the everyday things that quietly shape our lives.